Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sports in Earnest. This is the first ever edition. I'm happy, I'm excited to be bringing this to you. Hopefully, you guys like my content and what I have to say. Let's find out how the draft edition plays out. This is the final mock draft of this 2018 draft that you will see. So I don't bother with a bunch of other mock drafts earlier in the season for the simple reason being there's just too much going on. The free agency, trades and such, people being released. Des Bryant, who, by the way, I wholeheartedly support and believe he was not the blame in Dallas. If you can't tell, I'm a Dallas fan, so yeah, keep an eye on that. Des was not to blame, and I don't think that we're a better team without him. Definitely not right now. Let's see what the draft brings, okay? Without further ado, let's talk about the draft. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and do only the first round because, honestly, there's so many moving pieces, possibilities for trades that everything else sort of becomes mute, really. Yeah, I can talk about, good value picks, etc., but honestly, that's better left for the actual days of the draft. Now, what I will do is give you a first pick and second pick for those potential teams, best second picks, possible picks. There are going to be some trades. I'm definitely aware of it. We all are, and I can speculate about some of the trades, but I'll definitely not make my mock draft based on the trades because there might be a few of them and too many moving pieces to really speculate on it. What we'll do is we'll just go in the order of the draft, and I think on draft day, as they do in the war room, the picks are determined not by who you actually want, but who's available. So that's what we're going to do. I've watched a lot. I've gathered my intel, and I've spent hours and hours of research, and you guys get to benefit from it. So let's see how it plays out. All right. First pick of the draft is going to be with the Cleveland Browns. They hold the first pick and the fourth pick. And I would say they are definitely going to make a safe quarterback pick. Let's keep in mind something, guys. The Browns have missed on two really good quarterbacks that they had in their hands. One was Carson Wentz. One was Deshaun Watson. They could have had either one of them, and they traded out of it. So they are definitely not trading the number one pick, and they are definitely going to take a quarterback with that first pick just because they cannot allow themselves to, take, let's say, Saquon Barkley with the first pick and then pick a quarterback with the fourth pick, because suppose they get the wrong one, but they had the ability to choose the right one. So they take Sam Darnold. That's the safest pick. He measures up. He's a big guy. He's got a good resume. Sure, he's made some mistakes, but those are coachable things, and I think that's where they go. The second possible pick would be Josh Allen. Okay, just because of his upside, his strong arm, he's got a high ceiling to grow. But I would definitely say Sam Darnold is going to be the pick. Put your money on it. Second pick, really, really easy. The Giants are going to go with Saquon Barkley. The guy is a gold jacket guy, which is something they're looking for. He's a phenomenal athlete. He is a trendsetter in every in every sense of the word. He fits the mold of all these successful running backs that have come into the league recently, and it seems to be the trend that teams are looking and placing a higher value on running backs in the early rounds. So Saquon Barkley is definitely going to be number two. The next pick is going to be the New York Jets. This gets a little interesting. It could be Baker Mayfield or Josh Rosen. It's tough. Mayfield gives you more mobility. Rosen gives you a little more polish. But I think what it comes down to is the Jets are going to take Mayfield. There's a certain edge. There's a certain ability that he has proven, a certain confidence. And I believe that the Jets are buying into that as opposed to a confident guy, a sort of rebellious, if you will, like really smart guy with an attitude. Excuse me, a little small stature-wise. I mean, he's kind of skinny. He has had some injuries. I don't think that the Jets are as enamored by that. So I'm going to go with Mayfield at the number 3 spot. And then that brings us back to the Browns. The Browns they have a choice, and I don't think they're going to trade out. I think that they have bought into what you've heard some people talk about, how it's time to make picks and not keep trading down. Enough of that. They've done plenty of that over the last couple of drafts. So what I'm going to say is it's going to be either Bradley Chubb or Quentin Nelson. Now, they have a great need for Quentin Nelson, and this guy is going to be phenomenal. It's hard to believe that he would fail. But Bradley Chubb kind of fits that same mold, and I think they're leaning more towards pairing him with Myles Garrett as opposed to, putting a solid guy on the offensive line. So I'm going to go with Chubb. The second pick would be Nelson. The Broncos, they are potentially a team to look for trading. But what I'm going to do is say, look, if they're at number 5 and they don't trade out and they need a quarterback, they've been needing a quarterback. They're at the 5th pick in the draft. There's no way that I see John Elway saying, hey, look, we took Paxton Lynch. We've got Case Keenum. We don't need a quarterback. Let's get somebody else. Well, I don't think that's the case. I mean, I think he understands how important it is to have a premium quarterback, a quality quarterback. So with Josh Rosen being available, I think he goes with Josh Rosen. Now, there's a possibility they may trade out of it, but that's the pick that I would say. If they don't go with Rosen, the only other person I could see them taking at number 5 would be Quentin Nelson. Number 6, the Colts. Another team that might trade down, okay? Possibly with the Bills. If they made the trade, that's one thing. But again, we're not doing this with trades. So with the 6th pick in the draft, they don't need a quarterback. They're going to definitely take the highest rated player that they need, plus he's local. Keep that in mind. That makes a huge difference. He played at Notre Dame, which is basically Indiana. So they're going to take Quentin Nelson. The second pick I would go for I think is either Tremaine Edmonds or Roquan Smith. But if I'm the Colts, I would take Tremaine Edmonds over Roquan Smith for the simple being I think that Tremaine Edmonds gives you a high ceiling, a young guy, a huge body that can come off the edge or play middle linebacker, and he's a phenomenal athlete. Now, the 7th pick, pretty easy. This is the Buccaneers, and my pick there is that they're going to go with one of 2 defensive backs. Let's keep in mind where Tampa Bay is located. Derwin James would be the pick. Derwin James played for Florida State right up the road, so it's kind of hard for them not to take him. The only other possibility would be Minkah Fitzpatrick. He played at Alabama, not too far away. He's a Swiss Army knife type of defensive back, so he could give them a lot of versatility, which they need in that secondary. The next pick would be the Bears. Again, interesting because they're sort of enamored with the linebacker position. I think they've strengthened their wide receiver core. They also have needs at defensive back because they haven't had interceptions in forever. I think they were last, I believe, in the league when it comes to interceptions. So in this case, I'm going to lean towards the linebacker, Roquan Smith. Denzel Ward, who's a local guy, Ohio State, would be the second pick. At number 9, the 49ers, again, best player available and on need, they're going to go Tremaine Edmonds if he's available. So expect Tremaine Edmonds to the 49ers. The Raiders at number 10 would then go with the cornerback with Ward, Denzel Ward. So Denzel Ward is by the way a really dynamite cornerback. I mean, the guy runs like a 4.3. He's got quick hips. He's physical. He's not that big. That's the only knock. But you're talking about an impact player there. So then Denzel Ward would be the pick. The Dolphins at number 11. I frankly thought they wanted to get a quarterback. That's where I thought they wanted to go. But I think what's holding them back is they probably don't want to trade up for it because I don't think that they're going to be able to put together a package to get it. I think they're hoping that Baker Mayfield slides that far, but I don't think that'll happen. So the Dolphins need to plug the defensive line hole that was left when Ndamukong Suh left. I think they go with Vita Vea, probably the best value player at that point in the draft. I also see them potentially going for a receiver. Keep in mind they lost Jarvis, Jarvis Ridley, whatever. They lost him, Jarvis Landry, excuse me. So now I would see them potentially going for a receiver like Calvin Ridley. So that would be their picks. The Bills at number 12 are completely amazed that the guy they want would be available at number 12, and that's Josh Allen. That's the guy they want. That is the guy they want, number one. That's the guy that I expect them to trade up to get. So that's Josh Allen for the Bills. The Washington Redskins are on the clock after at number 13. Unlucky 13. Division rival, what can I tell you? So the Skins pick Minkah Fitzpatrick. Okay, Minkah Fitzpatrick's actually from New Jersey, not too far up the road. He's a all-round dynamite player in the secondary. He's even got the kind of physicality and size to move up to be like a box safety or a small linebacker, like a dime linebacker. So Minkah Fitzpatrick, phenomenal pick. A lot of heart, a lot of character. This guy's going to do great things in the league. I just hope he doesn't do it for one of our opponents. The next pick would be the Packers at number 14. The Packers are going to most likely go in the secondary. They're going to go for a Josh Jackson, cornerback.